Hello, my name's Alex.
And I'm Jenny. Welcome to North Talk,
a show about progressive solutions to Canadian issues.
In this episode, we discuss the concept of higher education, with a particular focus on the university system as it exists today.
As always, we have an assortment of questions which we will attempt to answer. So let's kick it off with, should degrees exist?
Some degrees should not exist at all. For example, art degrees. How can someone be graded on creativity or other completely subjective criteria?
On the other hand, technical or objective degrees contain a wealth of knowledge that is already easily accessible online using existing services like Coursera, EduX, YouTube, or paid services such as Code School or Lynda.
Degrees also promote the idea of the end of learning. People feel that once they have the degree, they've completed their education. They don't facilitate the idea of lifelong learning, learning for the love of knowledge, or for constant personal improvement. They promote learning only as a means to an end.
So the next question is, does higher education isolate career paths?
Most people have an idealistic view of what their career will be like. But if you haven't gotten your hands dirty, how can you know if you'll like it or not? The lost income from pursuing another four-year degree and the additional student debt accrued makes changing career paths unrealistic.
A lot of millennials are searching for jobs that fulfill a sense of purpose and are less focused on job and financial security. It isn't effective to train these people for a traditional career path via a degree. They would be more effectively trained in a multidisciplinary, open-ended manner that suits their lifestyle.
So then, does higher education lead to jobs? Often students that graduate are not finding careers in the fields that they studied. Their degree can even alienate them from working in other fields, or worse yet, overqualify them.
People are isolated in their field by their degree, and this places them at the mercy of the market.
If your degree ties you to an industry that goes into recession, you are forced to compete for the work in an artificially hyper-competitive market that you can't escape.
Higher education is also inadvertently creating a class system. Instead of utilizing degrees as a mechanism of certification, employers are universally requiring that job applicants have a university degree. Any university degree, with no real justification as to why it's required.
Furthermore, employers are now asking for applicants with degrees to replace vacant positions that were previously performed by employees who did not hold degrees. This makes it more difficult for the middle-class worker without a degree to compete for a middle-class job.
So does having a degree guarantee expertise?
Universities generally focus on memorizing and regurgitating information, not the practical application of knowledge as it would be performed in a working environment.
Someone who attends university and scores 51% on all tests receives the same degree as someone who scores 100% on those same tests. The two people are equally certified.
This proves that the universities are not at all concerned with the graduate's actual education or performance. When you pursue a degree, there are courses known as options that you're forced to take. Most of these courses are irrelevant to your interests and field of study.
4 years of university study is in actuality only about 2 years of study on the subject itself. The next question is, should companies hire based on degrees?
Companies should hire based on a combination of a person's certifications, portfolio, skills, demonstration of competence, and related work experience. Next up, do people go to university to learn or just for a piece of paper?
People attend universities because universities have positioned themselves in such a way as to have a virtual monopoly on employability.
Very few people would pay to attend university if there was no degree or certification offered at the end.
So with all of that in mind, what's the North Talk solution?
Educational requirements should focus on actual knowledge, not on where or how the knowledge was acquired.
We propose the creation of multiple certification companies that administer certification tests.
To ensure the quality of the people certified, the certification company would adjust the difficulty of the test so that only about 20% of applicants pass the certification test.
This ensures a high standard of quality for people with the certifications. These certifications would be the equivalent of a degree.
Additionally, it would be worth testing what happens if rules on educational discrimination are added to the Constitution on a trial basis. So both employers and employees could not request nor list post-secondary education in the pursuit of employment.
All applicants would have to be interviewed and selected based on their personal merits and relevant work experience.
We could take a page from trade workers and utilize the concept of apprenticeships across more industries.
In 2015, Canadian universities received nearly $34 billion from tax revenue. University staff received nearly $20.5 billion of that.
If the taxes allocated to universities instead went into online learning initiatives, all citizens would have equal access to higher education at minimal cost. Leading experts can be attained to create online classes because they can be well compensated for the time it takes to record the class only once. The vast majority of knowledge is free these days. How can universities continue to be competitive in these conditions?
They're simply an outdated relic of a bygone era.
Thanks for watching North Talk. Please subscribe to our channel.
If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, feel free to send us an email at talk@northtalk.ca.
We'd love to hear from you.